Hello everybody. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all doing absolutely fantastic and that you're all having a great day. Don't forget to leave a like on the video. It's a free and easy way to support the channel. It also helps out my algorithm a lot, and a very big thank you to everyone who leaves a comment on the videos as well. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. We continue today with our, everyone else is kind of doing it as well. Everyone's in crypto. Not some people, everyone. And it seems to only be getting crazier by the hour at this point. If you've missed any of the last couple of videos, shame on you. And secondly, apparently, allegedly, metaphysically, we are hearing that May, the month of May, is apparently going to be this gigantic, mega, super, ultra, kamehameha for crypto, and subsequently also for the US dollar. A lot of the news that we've been getting is that the amount of Bitcoin on crypto exchanges is as low as it's ever been since 2018. You heard that correctly. A lot of companies continue to announce that they're getting in crypto, they're moving further into crypto, they're buying Bitcoin, they're hoarding Bitcoin, they're mining Bitcoin. We have had a lot of news recently, as we've just been discussing a lot of news recently about the downfall of the US dollar, like this year, like not in like the coming years, no, like this year, the US dollar is going to falter. People are moving away from the US dollar. They're moving more into Bitcoin. We heard that from like 7 of the largest world banks in the last 2 days. So on top of that as well, in what can only be described as unsurprising, surprising news, this was incredibly popular and for good reason. Understand that no matter how much Bitcoin you think that there is out there, there's far less, and there's going to be even lesserer very, very soon. Charles Schwab. Charles Schwab is a mega bank, global institution, multi-trillion-dollar thingamajig. Charles Schwab's new CEO, his name is Rick Wurster, announced that the company is gaining significant momentum in the cryptocurrency space and has plans to expand their offerings. During the company's 2025 Spring Business Update, Schwab revealed that they are moving into spot cryptocurrency trading, allowing clients to directly buy and sell cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. When we hear exactly which coins Charles Schwab is going to use on their platform for actual trading, make sure to keep note. I've said that for a number of years now. There's a reason why we keep hearing the same coins over and over and over from these institutions. Sometimes they do get us, and they'll add around 4 or 5 different altcoins as well. These are the coins that you pay attention to because it means that not only is Charles Schwab accumulating these coins, but their investors have been asking specifically for these coins as well. It means that's where the big money is looking towards, that they think has the most potential. It says this marks a big shift in how major financial firms approach digital assets, because years ago, these people They told us that crypto was garbage, that crypto wasn't going to be used, that crypto was for no one. None of these companies, remember, if you've been here for at least 5 years, they said no one's going to use it. We don't want to use it. We're not using Bitcoin. We're not using crypto. We have no intention of making a trading desk, nonetheless, any kind of derivatives. And all it took was BlackRock's $11 trillion to steamroll everyone for people to be like, oh my gosh, no, we love Batcoin. It's like the greatest investment ever. It's the awesomest. Schwab currently enables access to crypto through ETFs, closed-end funds, as well as futures. Worcester revealed that they are on, and I quote, on a great path to launch direct spot crypto trading within the next year. A lot of the speculation from reading multiple different articles, people think it'll happen at the beginning of 2026. Schwab's entry into the spot market would be a major step, especially as regulatory clarity improves. He called the expansion a response to, there we go. He called the expansion a response to client demand, as well as a strategic move to maintain its role as a top destination for retail and institutional crypto investors. There's far too much money for these people to actually ignore. The reason why they're, 1% of the reason why they're jumping into the market so quick and all trying to make their own cryptocurrency trading and all trying to launch their own ETFs, actually in part has to do with MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy stock, I believe, went up by several %1,000%. I think it was several %1,000% over the course of a 2-year period. As an institution that has hundreds of billions of dollars or trillions of dollars, you can't sit there and go, oh, that's wonderful for them. Guys, look how much money they made. You sit there and realize you could have made that much money as well, and you kind of let it slip by. The institutions are here. They're not going away. They're going to continue to accumulate massive, egregiously large hordes of Bitcoin and crypto. And this is why I keep saying that the reckoning is upon us. We are currently smack dab in the middle, here, of people expecting the US dollar to falter. How do you get around that? You get into other assets, you get into crypto because it's what people are choosing. We have the heads of large banks talking about the US dollar is done for and people are going to move their money into Bitcoin. We have price predictions for the next 4.5 years of a $2.4 million Bitcoin. It makes a lot of, I always say this as well, it makes a lot of sense when you look at all the information. You can hear Kathy Wood and all these other people talk about $1 million Bitcoin, 1.3 million. You look at the price and it's 77,000 and you go, womp, womp, womp. But then you realize all these people know each other. They sit in the rooms with them. They're talking to governments and aiding them on accumulating Bitcoin. These people hang out with Charles Schwab and they hang out with the people from BlackRock and they hang out with the people from Fidelity. And of course it makes sense because they know all of their future moves. So this is why we keep getting readjusted Bitcoin price predictions over the coming years. Yeah, this is going to be gigantic. Charles Schwab isn't a small run-of-the-mill institution. They have over $10 trillion in assets under management. Yeah, this is going to be gigantic. So, this also does kind of launch us into the, will there ever be like another cycle? Like, are cycles actually completely over? Because if you have all these institutions getting into the space, and we've seen it years ago, nonetheless recently, if you missed it, every time, say it with me, every time there's a dip, the people who are buying the dip are the institutions. And the problem is that they're all buying against each other. At some point, as the Bitcoin supply on exchanges hasn't been this low since November 2018, That's because of institutional buying. Anytime that someone sells, they're buying at a lower price and they go, okay, cool, well, retail is completely out of the market. We are watching corporate entities take over Bitcoin in its entirety. So just always make sure that you keep that in mind if you ever remain skeptical about crypto, because there's no more skepticism on their part. They're simply buying all of it. That's the Charles Schwab is getting into cryptocurrency spot trading. I don't want to say which coins I think they're going to start with, but pay attention to when they announce which coins they're going to have on their platform. And yeah, let's move on. Also in the news, now this could also be something like major. Crypto exchange Binance announced a policy update on the 18th of April, mandating Know Your Customer KYC re-verification for all users in India, regardless of when they joined the platform. India has been the center of cryptocurrency discussion since around 2017. One of the ideas back in 2016, for those of you who don't know, was the idea that eventually we would, and I guess now will, have billions of people not only into crypto, but on the internet. There are a lot of people who just aren't connected. Of course, that, number rises more and more. But the idea for India was that with 1.5 billion people or near next to it, if we in crypto could get around 10% of people into this market, sky's the limit for prices when you gather another 150 million people into your space. However, the Indian government since 2017 has claimed that they were going to bring about cryptocurrency regulation, very similar to Gary Gensler and the SEC. And guess what never happened? There was no crypto regulation ever within India. I think they clarified taxation, like how much you have to pay the government. And I believe one or two other things, but there was never like a clear across the board, hey, this is what it is. In 2019, 20, and 21, every cryptocurrency exchange got in trouble within India. The news that we received was that allegedly every single cryptocurrency exchange had done something illegal. The government of India said that there was a lack of compliance. They were missing paperwork. They didn't do this. They never went to this office to register. And this is when I said, yeah, it's true. This is when I said, I am very hard pressed to believe that Binance, Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini, ABC123, all these crypto exchanges were doing business in India, and none of them went to the regulator. None of them went to an office. Nobody wrote an email. They were all just there illegally. That's the problem that we had. I think it was it Kenya? Nigeria. Oh gosh. One of the countries who also said the same exact thing. And I was like, you guys are terrible liars. For those of you who don't know, when a lot of cryptocurrency organizations or foundations are created, like the Ethereum Foundation, the IOHK Cardano Foundation, they go through a multi-year lengthy process to get the required paperwork, usually in Switzerland and in other countries, to make sure that they are legal from the get-go. You can't tell me that Coinbase and Binance were in India and they were like, let's just open up shop right across the street. That sounds good. No. Was clearly a lie. All crypto exchanges were told to leave, and then we kind of found out that this was basically because India, as a growing superpower, is a little bit scared that the rupee might be pushed to the side as a world currency in replace of other replacements. A lot of countries around the world, their citizens have begun to choose to use stable coins as a means of transacting and also of stability. We heard that in parts of Africa and parts of Latin America who have like wildly fluctuating fiat currencies. A lot of them are choosing to use Tether. It's not a joke. They're transferring Tether between each other because they'd rather not have to take an entire potato sack full of bills to the store to go buy flour. That's also not a joke. So India got wind years ago that tons of people within their borders were actually choosing to use crypto and Bitcoin as a means of exchange and also as a form of investment over other things from their stock market or their actual local currency. So we had news, this must have been February. Coinbase was happily in the news because they said that they were working with regulators. And I believe that they started to work on extra paperwork or whatever they actually had to end up doing. But it's like actually incredible that we're even seeing this happen because it means that a lot of people, extra people within the country will be able to like officially join the cryptocurrency space without any extra like question marks. If the country is asking for know your customer extensively for everyone on there and everyone does KYC, it means that Binance is legal and all the people using the platform are also then legal as well. Binance gets a thumbs up, the country gets a thumbs up. The notice follows a broader push to comply with India's anti-money laundering regulations and comes as Binance looks to reinforce account security standards across the board. Yeah, India, geez Louise. India believes that they have a very big money laundering problem. At least this is what they say out loud. They think that people in their country are circumventing paying taxes and they're doing it through paper currencies. And this is why you heard in 2018 or 2019, they've gotten rid of some of their larger paper notes. Imagine like the US getting rid of like the $100 bill and the 20 because they want people to use the smaller ones because they believed that people would have in essence been using the $100 bill or imagine a $500 bill to basically trade and buy houses and do all these other kinds of things. The exchange detailed the legal and regulatory basis for the decision, underscoring its alignment with Indian authorities. They said, and I quote, "Users in India, both new and existing, need to undergo their Know Your Customer KYC re-verification." Not much more to read. The article keeps on going, but I think you get the general point. It's weird to see actual progress in this space. I know it sounds crazy, but it's actually quite odd. It's weird to get regulatory information from the SEC. Apparently, I don't have it here. It's not that important. But apparently something else is going to happen relatively soon. I think the SEC just had, what do you call it? Like their first real regulatory round table, trying to get things all together. Hester Pierce just said she's a bit ashamed because I think crypto companies are playing, and I don't know why she said it this way. She said crypto companies are playing the floor is lava with the lights off. I don't know where she got those words from, but I also make up crazy stuff as well, so who knows exactly what's going on. Yeah, it's weird to see like moving forward. It's weird to see institutions getting into the space and being like, yeah, no, we're here. Like this is definitely going to happen. Like we are making changes. So yeah, maybe this is the end of an era where, you know, people in India get more regulation. Who knows what's happening, but I hope something happens. That's the India news, and yeah, let's move on. Also in never-ending popular news, Japanese investment firm Metaplanet has increased their Bitcoin holdings by more than $400 million after their latest purchase. They acquired an additional 330 Bitcoin for $28.2 million at an average price of $85,000, bringing their total holdings to 4,855 BTC, worth $414 million, according to a late April post from Simon Garovich, the CEO of Metaplanet. The firm's Bitcoin yield surpassed 119% year to date. And there's the tweet for it right there. Absolutely fantasticals. This happens about twice a week at this point. Metaplanet this year, and I think they might actually do it. I was lightly skeptical before because I think they had, was it like 920 Bitcoin? It was some number. And they said that this year they want to get to 10,000 Bitcoin. I think they might actually, we haven't gotten to the middle of the year yet, so they might actually be able to do it. They're on a never-ending quest to buy up as much Bitcoin as they possibly can. They're trying to, this year they want 10,000, and next year they want to have 21,000 Bitcoin by themselves just for the company. So the accumulation, as always, continues. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not rooting for them. It's more like I can't sit here. I'd much rather normal people have this Bitcoin. We've gone over that before. I'm not going to sit here and go woo, 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 woo for a company that can be like, guys, should we spend $400 million on Bitcoin? Like, they're clearly going to succeed. It's just a matter of time. So I say good luck to thee. I know you're going to make it, but I still am hoping for a some kind of a mass mental symbiosis where everyone on the planet is like, oh my gosh, let's all buy up the remaining Bitcoin before Michael Saylor and Metaplanet and Jack Mallers and Jack Dorsey and, the names kind of keep going on. Cool. Wow. I can't believe it. They found more money. How cool. Okay. Let's move on. Also in the news, the US SEC has delayed their decision on several cryptocurrency ETFs, including Grayscale's Polkadot ETF, specifically the Grayscale Polkadot Trust and the Canary Capital Hedera HBAR ETF. The SEC has extended the review period for these ETFs, with a final decision now scheduled for the 11th of June. Additionally, the SEC has postponed its ruling on Bitwise's Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs until the 10th of June. Yes, my friends, I know it's weird, but we're here. Lightly got goosebumps. Look at that. I remember in January we were talking about this. For those of you who missed it, the SEC currently has 70. That is 70. That is not a fake number. The SEC currently has 70 cryptocurrency ETF applications on their desk. 70. We heard about a lot of them in November and December and in January that they were being launched or filed, or that the SEC said sometime in March or April that they would need more time to discuss before they give a final ruling. I mentioned before, I'm sure you remember, April, May, and June. These were parroted to us the fudge stop over and over by every single institution and every single analyst as the time frame that we would start to see the cryptocurrency market move back up. That's why I said a couple days ago about Arthur Hayes. I was like, listen, he's been pretty right. He said before we were going to dip down into the 70,000s, move back above 90,000. And then basically from there, this was like a week ago, we're going to $130,000 per coin. For whatever the reason is, April, May, and June are kind of the hot spots of the market. A lot of the ETFs are coming due in May and June. The Fed is expected to lower interest rates in May and July. A lot of cryptocurrency companies are going to be buying a lot more cryptocurrencies in the coming months, as allegedly we're supposed to soon be hearing concrete wording from the US as to exactly how and when and how much Bitcoin that they're going to be buying. So it does make a lot of sense that prices go higher, make more money, that kind of thing. It's just, I know it's like completely up in the air right now. So, yes, we are waiting to hear how many of these things are going to actually go through. I have a very strong theory. It's going to be one of three things. We're either going to get everything, we're going to get around 50 to 70%, or we're going to get none. The none seems incredibly unlikely, and the all seems unlikely as well, as a lot of the ETF proposals are actually revolving around meme coins. Yeah, if you didn't see that one, there are ETF proposals for the Melania coin, the Trump coin, for Bonk, for Dogecoin, and there's one or two other ones that I was like, really? You wasted your paperwork on that. We're probably going to get, and listen, the new head of the SEC has claimed he is pro-crypto AF. And therefore, he said he's expecting brand new wondrous things for the cryptocurrency market regarding regulations and yada, yada, yada. If we get all of these ETFs going through, expect a bonanza to basically happen within crypto where prices will not stop going up. And we're going to see another avalanche of multiple crypto ETFs being launched. I, however, am expecting a lot of the larger coins to kind of get passed through. The Bitcoin, Ethereum ETFs are going to go through. The XRP and Litecoin ETFs are going to go through. I think we're probably also going to see the HBAR, the Polkadot, the Solana ones also moseying their way through as well. And that actually is the bulk of the listings. If you missed it, I said 17. Someone said, I think 13, but then someone on Twitter, I think there are apparently 19 XRP ETFs that are currently up for approval or debate. I think there's around 9 or 10 Solana ones. I think 3 to 5 Litecoin. And then there's a bunch of basket ones. So there's a bunch of multiple crypto being held and or Bitcoin and Ethereum in the exact same fund. So yeah, this is crazy. I don't know how to react to any of this but crypto tends to work this way. We always have everything at the exact same time. You would assume there'd be a light sprinkle every single month of some good news. We get a lot of, hey, this is happening, this is happening, this happens, and then all of a sudden one day it's everything falls onto our lap. So this month, we're waiting to see if the Fed lowers interest rates. Next, and also the end of this month is also a lot of the ETFs coming to the deadline, and then in June as well. So buckle up, something crazy is going to happen because there's too much good momentum right now. And that's a good thing. Yeah, I think that's going to do it for this video. Hope you've all been doing well. I know a lot is happening, and I know I say that every other video. It's because a lot is happening. If you turn on the TV or watch news of any sort, there's constantly a lot happening. Thank you all every single day once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.